Companies need a brilliant workforce to get ahead and succeed. The Level 3 Foundation Certificate in People Practice is designed for individuals that wish to enhance their people skills and use them in the workplace. As a people professional, your role is to make certain the workforce is effectively managed, their skills boosted, with a clear path to grow. The course in People Practice is a recognized certificate and not just focuses on human resources but also on strategic expertise. Increase your personal skills and strengthen your growth and development. Global Edulink is a first-class leader in the education industry and delivers high-quality materials and resources, outstanding customer services, and a personalized learning experience.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Holt. I'm an experienced tutor, teacher, and educational and careers advisor in management with a focus on human resource management.
The certificate offers a broad understanding of key HR areas, equipping you with the confidence to demonstrate your knowledge, gain CIPD membership, receive a certification that validates a much sought-after skill, explore the 21st century employment markets and enjoy an exciting career in a wide range of industries. Progress to the next level and be a standout, successful people professional. True leadership lies in guiding others to success.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Gateway to HR Excellence CIPD introduction session. My name is Natalie. I'll be your webinar moderator this evening. Hope everyone's had a lovely day. Just to let you know, this is being recorded, so don't worry if you join a little late or if you do have to go off early, but hopefully you don't have to. And just in general, you'll be able to refer back to this for your learning. So we'll be sending you this whole webinar recording shortly after we finish. So yes, that is what we have on this evening. If you can't hear me at any point as well, just type in the chat and then we can see if we can help you out and rectify any issues. But yes, so this is what we have on for this evening, everyone. We've got just a small icebreaker. I'll go around to a few of you, see who we got in the room, because we have learners from all over the globe. So it's really exciting to get to know you guys, see where you're at, see where you're joining us from, and all of those things. So then we'll go through getting to know your expert facilitator tonight. What is CIPD and its qualifications? We'll look at the career paths surrounding that as well, and the personal benefits that CIPD can offer you, as well as our experts' view on selecting a proper learning platform for yourselves. And then we'll have a question and answer session with our expert facilitator, as well as our course advisor. So definitely make use of that time whilst we are all live so that you can get the most knowledge extracted out. And then towards the end, we've got some exclusive discounts that if you've joined this webinar tonight live, that's sort of the benefit of doing it. Then we've got some limited time offers. So that'll be good to see what we've got in store today. So that's just a rundown of our agenda. We're here till 7 p.m. So let's get into it. Okay, yes, before the icebreaker, here is our expert facilitator tonight, everyone. We have Dr. Paul Turner. So he's worked in ex-HRD, UK banking and financial services quite a while ago, and then for about 18 years now he's been a business consultant. As you can see, clients totaling 100 plus companies and 5,000 plus managers, so really big scale there. And he's the winner of the prestigious International HR Stevie Award. If you guys do or don't know what that is, but it's great, it's an American award I found out. And there you can see in the bottom left hand corner is his QR code for his LinkedIn profile. So if you've got a tablet or your phone on you, or however you're watching this, then you can take a screenshot or take a picture of it, and that will take you straight to Paul's LinkedIn. And it's always great to connect with people. That is how I found my team here at Global Edulink. So you never know what can happen from a LinkedIn connection. So yeah, that's my little spiel on LinkedIn. I love it. But okay, there we go. Okay. We're going to move on to our little icebreaker now. Let me just check. Oh, yes. I'll make sure everyone has slide access for later on. Thank you. But yes, so for our icebreaker now, I'll just go around to a few of you, see who we've got in the room. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, that would be great. And sort of let us know where you're at in your career, what you'd like to get out of today, that kind of thing. And then sometimes we can tailor the webinar to you guys a bit better. So Lisa, are you there? Would you like to unmute yourself? Let us know where you're joining from. I'm from South London, by the way, guys. Yeah, let us know where you're at the moment. Also, I do understand some people can't always unmute themselves. Maybe they're surrounded by noise, or they got headphones in, or they're on the train or something. If that's the case, don't worry. But you can just, if you'd like to introduce yourself via the chat as well, you can do. Also, if you have questions, I can see some more people joining now as well. If you have questions, you can pop them in the question and answer box if you don't mind. It makes it a bit easier to keep track. So I'm not sure if Lisa can talk. What about Danny? Are you there? Would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Danny's at work. Okay, no worries, no worries. Yeah, what industry are you guys in? That's always handy to know as well. We like to know. What about Harris? Would you like to introduce yourself? And sorry, I know some people are joining late, so don't want to put you on the spot, but it's just sort of so we can see who we got in the room and get to chat to each other and sort of help Paul and Shallow for later on. Yeah, Harris, would you like to unmute yourself and let us know where you're joining from and where you're sort of at the moment? Your industry.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi. So currently I'm joining in from UK, London. I basically am looking for a transition into a BA role, and I'm looking for my new opportunity. And I hope this gives me some direction.
Okay, great. Thank you,
Yeah,
Harris.
thank
Thanks
you.
for that introduction there. Great. Hopefully we can have a couple more before we move on. Teo, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ibitayo. I'm presently in Newcastle, in UK here. I just finished my master's from University of Sunderland, Human Resources Management. So I pray I'm able to get one or two things to add to what I have from this webinar.
Oh,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, Teo. Nice to meet you. Yeah, sure. And okay, I'll go around to one more person. Aidan, are you there? Would you like to unmute yourself? Or maybe not. Okay, no worries. Right, we'll move on. If you guys can't talk or anything, or if you just want to say hi, you can do in the chat. But yes, okay, let's move swiftly on. Okay, so this is the part where I'll be handing over to Dr. Paul. Paul, you should have screen access now. Let me know if you have any troubles. But yeah, over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Natalie, and good to hear from Teo and Harris. As Natalie has said, please use the chat. It's if that's the method of communication you need to use today. But I was really interested to learn there that from Teo and Harris, certainly, that this is an exploratory session for them to see how this might fit into their future careers. So whether it be London or Newcastle, I'm in Shrewsbury at the moment, which is some people don't know where Shrewsbury is, but it's in Shropshire, which is near the Welsh borders. So that's where I'm at this evening. Great to be with you. Let's start off really looking at HR in overview. And what we can see here is that there are a number of functions of HR that come through this. And whether it be recruitment and selection, we would all know that because many of us, all of us, in fact, probably have been through that recruitment and selection, possibly when we've gone for a job, maybe when we've recruited ourselves. And then you've got payroll and administration. One of the most important things about getting things right in HR is getting the payroll correct. I mean, we want to do a lot of exciting things, but to do the exciting things, we need to get the basics right as well. And making sure people's pay is correct is very important. And then over on that right-hand side, we've got areas like performance and discipline and grievance. And this will involve, of course, employment law. And the human resource development, this is learning and development, this is training, this is education. And all of that means that in the middle there are several roles that exist in HR. And we'll talk a little bit about these roles in due course. But many of these roles are emerging, they're new roles. So whatever you whatever your interests are career-wise, you'll probably find a niche, a role in HR that will match your requirements. So a little bit about the CIPD. The CIPD is essential to our programs, and obviously it's very important that people who go through a program like this are student members of the CIPD. This is the professional body in the UK, but it has a much wider reach than the United Kingdom. It does stretch out into many other international countries. And it gives advice and standards and guidance around HR, learning and development, organizational development. It sets the professional standards for more than 160,000 members globally. And in the words of its chief executive, Peter Cheese, people at the center of it all. If we want the best performance from our organizations, we have to look after our people. And that's why HR is such a fantastic place to work, to be involved in. Digging a little bit more down onto the CIPD profession map, what you'll find is the CIPD around this purpose is wrapped principles, evidence-based and outcomes-driven approach. Now, then when we go out, we have to look at it in three ways, really. Core knowledge. So there is a need for HR professionals to have core knowledge, whether that be about people practice or technology or change or culture. And then to put that knowledge into practice, you need then, of course, to understand the core behaviors that an HR professional should aspire to and meet. And there will be lots of areas here around ethics and courage. It takes courage to be an HR person because you have to challenge management. You have to balance the requirements of employees and management. And of course, passion is essential in any people-driven role. But then, of course, if you go into HR, yes, you will start off with what we're going to be talking about today, which is level 3. But once you get those basic standards on board, then people can specialize. They can specialize in law, they can specialize in equality and diversity, or reward, or talent management, or analytics. So there are lots of options for people who are considering an HR career, but those options really are predicated by having the education and knowledge around those baseline standards. And this is where the foundation certificate in people practice provides the bridge to be able to access HR as a profession. And so what I'm going to do now is to present you with an overview of CIPD Level 3. And I'd like you to perhaps use your chat box just to give any thoughts or insights that you may have as I walk through this. So rather than save your insight or thought for at the end, because by then you may well have forgotten it, just put it in the chat box and that will give us a hook, maybe just to key into your particular interests. I'm particularly interested in what area of HR you may be considering at the moment. So let's have a look at level 3. And the descriptors really are around a learner, and potentially you, actually having the factual, procedural and theoretical knowledge around HR. That means that you'll be able to interpret and evaluate relevant information. But it's also about awareness, because in life, of course, we can't know everything. And in HR, as an HR professional, you cannot know everything. But what you will be able to do is be aware of all of the areas, and therefore be able to direct people to those areas, or to call on specialists if that is needed. And what we'll do in level 3 is take you through all of the different perspectives and approaches that are involved in HR. And so you'll gain a growing awareness around how to investigate, how to move forward with certain actions, how to use effective methods. Now, within level 3, there are 4 mandatory core units, and these are they. Firstly, business culture and change in context. Secondly, principles of analytics. Thirdly, core behaviors for people professionals. And finally, essentials of people practice. And what you'll find in these mandatory units is that the latter one, essentials of people practice, has more content, because it is about actually the roles and the functions within HR. So have a think about those 4, and maybe just have a think about, what are you drawn to? You've got to learn about all of them, but what are you drawn to in terms of your particular interests? And maybe put that onto chat. So let's have a look at the first one, business culture and change in context. This is really about the external influences that impact upon internal culture. So all businesses operate within a vortex, and obviously react to the external environment, but the internal environment is the culture of the organization. And so this particular unit will develop an understanding of those key influences that can impact upon businesses and context. For example, if you've done business studies in the past, you know that there are certain models that businesses use to make sense of their environment. And that could be PESTLE, couldn't it be, really? Which, or, you know, SWOT models, where you look at the political situation, the economic situation, the social situation, the technical situation, the legal impacts, the environmental factors, and make shape of this. And all of this impacts upon workplace culture. And so this particular unit will look at how the systems come together and help people learn, adapt, and develop in different ways. So let's have a look at some more detail on this particular unit. So it's in 3 parts. The first part is understanding the business environment. So this is primarily around the external nature of working as an HR professional. It's the external environment to the business. And therefore, you'll be looking at how you can make sense of goals and planning, making sure the internal goals and planning relate to the external environment. And of course, HR, you could argue, HR's customers are the employees of the company, are the managers of the company. But the end customer, of course, is the customer that buys the products and services of the company. So anything HR does really needs to be linked albeit through internal customers to the external customers, and that will be looked at. In that second area, this is how people's behavior in the workplace affects and shapes culture. So what you'll be looking at in this particular unit is how systems, people, all come together, structures, hierarchies all come together to make a culture. And yes, every organization has several cultures, has subcultures. But in the round, organizations do tend to have a dominant culture. And this will be driven primarily by leaders and managers. And then thirdly, making sense of all this and understanding how to effectively manage change, planning and managing change, how HR professionals play their part within that change, and an understanding of the impact of change on people. So let's move on to principles of analytics. Now, this really very often some people think, oh, I've never thought about analytics as being something you would do as an HR professional. And I guess, yes, I mean, analytics you would argue is more driven in other areas, but it's absolutely critical in the area of HR, because HR professionals have to propose change, and change often requires money, budgets, and therefore that requires getting the support of leaders within the organization. And to do that, you need to understand the impact, the evidence around this change. So this particular unit will look at how you make choices and how you can use analytics to rationalize the decision-making choices. So you'll cover how evidence-based practice provides informal and formal measures and outcomes, how you can use data measurement to inform decision-making, and also we will look at interpreting basic financial information and using critical thinking to actually really come to clear decisions, the most appropriate decisions based on the evidence available. So this will cover the role of analytics and other technology in working practices as well as looking at risk management. So let's have a little bit deeper dig into the principles of analytics. So you can see from this that there are two main strands of this in this unit. So firstly, you've got to understand how evidence-based practice informs organizational measures and outcomes. So there's a big emphasis here on evidence. That is factual information, and how you can use data to actually bring this factual information, evaluate correctly, bring it into the right format to be able to make the decision. It's also important, of course, for using it to monitor trends, to monitor the impact of strategies such as attendance records, such as sickness, such as how many learning hours are people doing, the level of engagement in a company, the level of satisfaction. So there are many areas here that analytics can play a part in. And in this section, certainly the first part there, you'll be looking at common calculations and basic financial information that you can draw out of organized data, as well as looking at procedures, policies that will help you to make sure you adopt an evidence-based approach. And then the second strand is, yes, analytics and the data is really important, but it's really important to make sure you gain value from it. So the second strand here will be how you can create value benefits for employees, for customers, and the wider stakeholders. And therefore using the range of analytics to actually do this? And what does value mean? And where does value come from? And how do you define value in that sense? And also, interestingly, for many of you, I think, you also touch on social media here, the growing impact and emergence of social media, not just on life, but on working life, and how HR professionals need to be aware of social media, both internally and externally, because they will have to manage the risks in this area. So also working really as a people professional, what are you adding value to the organization, and how can you actually analyze that around that? So some interesting points there, and for many it's quite a revelation to get into the analytics and to understand how you need analytics in HR to show your worth and to show the benefit of the strategies and techniques. The next unit is core behaviors for people professionals, and this talks about and focuses primarily on ethical practice and creating value. And ethics is becoming more and more important to HR professionals as the world changes and people's views and perspectives change with it. So you're going to develop insight into different approaches to customer focus, whether that be employees or customers who are purchasing products and services, and looking at it within the framework of the law. Yes, some things companies have to do because it's the law. Other things may not fall within the remit of the law, but it's important, if you're adopting an ethical approach, to actually abide by standards that may not necessarily be illegal. So looking at the two, informal ethics and formal legal responsibilities. And this will break down here, as you can see, into two main threads. One, understanding insightful approaches to supporting and maintaining ethics and professional practices. So you'll consider ethical principles here, how they can be of value to forming a culture within an organization, how HR needs to conform consistently with the law, with regulations, with external regulatory bodies. And you could argue that the CIPD is an external regulatory body for the HR profession. And therefore, if you are a member of the CIPD, you will have to abide by their regulations and guidance. So that's just one example of the areas that will be looked at in this particular unit. But also picking out the positive aspects of that around working relationships and building team morale. And the second is about promoting respect and inclusivity. And this is where sometimes professional courage is necessary and a passion is required, because HR professionals often have to step up and challenge managers around specific areas, making sure that there is an equality approach to the decisions that are made. So again, this will look at ethics. It will look at how you can model ways in which you can acknowledge sensitivity and respect others within a working context. And it gives opportunities for individuals to reflect on their own personal values and practices in this particular area, highlighting the importance of, in today's environment, inquisitiveness. It's so important today. Change is all around us. We are in a very volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous world that sometimes you need your core values to be able to make intuitive decisions. So part of this will be reflecting on proactive approaches to developing, recording, and reflecting on your professional knowledge, skills, and experience. And then we come to essentials of people practice. Now, this, as I mentioned, is the bigger unit of the 4. And this unit really starts to look at the fundamentals, really, of people practice. And what we see really around this is whether it's to do with employee life cycle, you know, the journey, the employee journey throughout the organization, and in relation to that, the policies, the regulation and law. So this is where we start to explore the more detailed aspects of HR. And this could be recruitment, talent management, reward and learning, development, all of these areas. So what you'll have an opportunity to do here, even at the standard entry stage into the HR profession, to start to think about which one of these topics are you guided towards, do you favor? Many of my students and many of my colleagues in the HR profession have stayed as a generic HR professional, which means they deal with everything, the full gamut of HR challenges. For instance, a HR business partner and an HR manager as such has to really be a generalist, whereas other colleagues and other students are keen to move in and be a specialist in terms of specific areas, such as recruitment and selection. So this particular unit will give you an opportunity to consider maybe what it is you might want to specialize in later. But the main essence of this will be to give you a basic understanding of each one, so that you will be able to assist a company in whatever way in these particular areas. So a little bit more content in this area, and therefore there will be more tutorial hours devoted to this. The first thread is understanding the employee life cycle and the different roles within it. So in this particular area, you will look at the employee life cycle. We all have an employee life cycle. We start by joining the company, the onboarding process, then we start the training to develop us, maybe to get more skills and to become more specialist, and therefore also becoming a valued organizational member because we've been in the organization for a year or few years, and then we may go on the promotion pathway. Generally, most people exit an organization dependent upon their careers. Some people go through to retirement with one company. Today, that's rare, isn't it? Most people, I think, are forecast in the world today to have at least 7 to 8 jobs in their lifetime. So this will enable you to explain the different methods and stages at the start of this employee life cycle, and recruitment and selection, and the different ways in which you can prepare information for the specific roles, whether that be job description or role description, and the different methods that you can use to attract people. So recruitment is more about attraction. Selection is looking at the pool you've attracted of people and making the right choice. And then secondly, this is about how you can contribute to the effective selection and appointment of individuals, the different selection methods that you can actually use, and when it's appropriate to use them. You need to think about selection criteria. If you're going to look for a new team member, then on what criteria are you going to shortlist them? There are legal challenges here as well as ethical to ensure equality, diversity. And so these areas you do need to know about, and they need to be brought to the fore within the organizational perspective. And also to be able to participate effectively in a selection interview, understanding how selection interviews can be done, the structure for them, as well as the records that are needed to be kept, including letters of appointment and even non-appointment for identified roles. And then you've got the legislation in the third thread here, which is around employment practices and how they affect employment relationships. So this is going to be looking at the importance of work-life balance within the employment relationship and how it can be influenced by legislation. So again, there's an underpinning aspect here of legislation that's very important. And certainly over the recent years, the concept has grown around well-being, resilience and well-being in the workplace, how you can help your employees become more resilient, how you can help them to have a good sense of well-being. And obviously there's a lot to that topic, and people really need HR to be able to create a culture that respects and understands the importance of well-being. And then, of course, we talk about employee engagement. Employee engagement is critical to companies because the more engaged your people are in a company, the more you will achieve as a company, the more successful you will be. All of the research indicates that. So how do you actually understand what your level of engagement is? And then, of course, what do you do about it once you know? How can you increase the level of engagement? Bringing in the impact, the relationships with the managers, because HR professionals have to work with, and support managers to achieve all of these things. And then, of course, a little bit of work around legislation, the specifics, the nuts and bolts, for example, discrimination legislation and the need to adopt a diverse and inclusive and equal approach. And then in thread 4, the importance of performance management in motivating and retaining individuals, and the importance of goals and the factors that need to be considered within that. And of course, linked to that is reward in attracting and motivating and retaining individuals. Because reward needs to be aligned to performance. And then how do you help people improve their performance? How do you help people maintain their performance? So that's a little bit about understanding how to support others to develop skills and knowledge required to meet both of these objectives. So that's given you an overview of the 4 mandatory units, and I hope it's given you enough really to think about what you would enjoy doing. And again, I'd urge you to maybe interact on chat now if you've got any thoughts around what do you think would be your favored one, or what's interesting to you, or what excites you about maybe pursuing and moving forward in an HR professional role. Because there are so many career paths. You can use the CIPD Level 3 qualification to become an HR assistant, administrator. And then, of course, once you get experience in such a role, you can move up to an advisor or an officer or an HR manager or business partner. And of course, You know, I was fortunate enough to get to HR director, but we all start at a certain place, and not to forget the importance of learning and development. Maybe you like training and education, or talent management, the recruitment and the retention of talent. There's other specialist roles, such as employee relationship specialists, and they may deal with unions or even engagement of employees. There's the OD, organizational development, lots of work around change management. And then there's reward, compensation and benefits specialists. And you may well, of course, at the end of all of this and a great career in HR, move into independent HR consultancy, and maybe move into it earlier than I did. So it's also really good at CIPD Level 3 for career changers, people who want to move forward into a different career, such as HR, from one they've taken. So there are lots of benefits, personal benefits for doing the CIPD Level 3. You'll get professional recognition via the CIPD. It is a benchmark, a standard to career advancement, and therefore more earning potential. Your expertise will improve considerably. The CIPD community, whether it be online or in room, will help you with networking opportunities. And of course, professional qualifications like the CIPD give you great flexibility, because there's many people I know who've got CIPD qualifications and they are managers in operations in other areas, but they wanted to have this qualification because it helped them to understand the people aspects of their role. And you'll also get support and guidance from the CIPD, as well as Global Edu, as well as credential validation. And business benefits are many, and aligned to the personal benefits really, but professional development, your HR expertise, you'll understand and get to know better and enhanced HR practices. You'll move on to strategic management. You'll get involved in employee development. All of these will enhance your value to the business, and therefore businesses often sponsor these programs because it gives them a much greater detailed understanding and knowledge of HR. So then, of course, is the how, isn't it? How do you actually move forward? We're all very busy people in today's world. And so the how is really about how you get to getting your CIPD Level 3. And for many of us, online has got to be the way to go because of time pressures, family pressures, location. And so you need to think about how you select a learning platform. A learning platform is critical to your learning when you're doing it remotely. So first of all, think about the interactive learning experience. Do choose a platform that provides interactive learning experiences to engage learners. So this could be activities, case studies, quizzes, discussions, and lots of other areas. Do think about, is this learning platform giving me exam preparation support? Make sure that the learning platform offers exam preparation materials such as practice exams and sample questions. Adequate exam preparation is critical and crucial for successfully passing the CIPD certification exams. Now, the Global Edu platform provides all of these aspects. So do make sure that you do your research and ensure that that learning platform has all of these features. As well as really making sure that the reputation of the learning platform is at the level you would wish it to be. So read reviews from previous learners, recommendations, look for feedback on the platform's effectiveness, course quality, and customer support. Again, with Global Edu, you will find lots of ways to be able to check this, and that will certainly, I'm sure, give you the assurance that you need to be able to do that. So thank you for your attention, and what we're going to do now is move into a question and answer session with Sholo, and please, I know that Natalie will come in here also. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for all that information, Dr. Paul. Really insightful there. Hopefully you guys took some notes. But yes, now is the question and answer session. So if you guys have any questions, please pop them in the question and answer box. Or alternatively, if you want to take yourself on mute, like some of you did in the beginning when you introduced yourselves, it's sometimes easier that way to ask a question talking rather than typing it, and sometimes a bit quicker. So if you want to do that, then you can raise your hand. You can put the little raise a hand, or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself, just hopefully it doesn't clash with someone. But yeah, any questions at this stage, guys? Because yeah, you may as well make use of Paul and Sholo whilst they're here. Granted, Sholo hasn't really spoken about Global Edulink yet, but if you have any questions about how courses run and exams and things like that, then Sholo will be your go-to as well. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions, guys, or any comments at this stage, or anything you might be struggling to understand, or yeah, just anything really. Don't think there's any questions at the moment. Maybe people are typing.
Natalie, could I just ask Harris? Harris, I know you joined earlier. If you can use your mic, it'd be really good. How did you find that? Did that fit in with your expectations?
We're flipping the question and answer. I like it. Oh wait, maybe. Oh, I think they might have had to go. Well, they could, yeah, because I was just looking in the list. Yeah, maybe they had to go off, but it's fine. We can send the recording and maybe get feedback afterwards. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just having a look, and then we've got some new people. Some people have left, some people have stayed. Like, we've got some new people joining along. But yeah, I mean, some of you might have joined halfway through, so you might have missed some bits. But from what you did see, do you have any questions? Yeah, or has it helped? Let us know. Paul, have you had any sort of frequently asked questions when people maybe sort of change career paths, or if they're new into the world?
Yeah. I think the first step is the hardest, Natalie, and very often the one thing I find is that people defer very often the decision, and students always say to me, I wish I'd have done this several months ago or several years ago. So I think the key thing is put the work in, put the research in, and set yourself a time limit on making a decision, because otherwise you'll find time goes with you. Pressures build, family, everything else. There's never a good time.
Yeah, true. We can sometimes put ourselves off and delay it, but really taking that first step is what gets us going. And yeah, it's so true. Thanks for that, Paul. Okay, well, if there's no questions at the moment, guys, we can move on to Sholo. She can tell us a bit about how our platform could be of benefit to you, and then you might have some questions off the back of Sholo's talk as well. Oh, Lisa said, I'm a student with Dr. Paul and love learning online. Lisa. Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yes, love it. Good little endorsement. Okay, right, yeah, Sholo, let's move on to you, as I don't think there's any questions at the moment. If you have any questions while Sholo's talking, obviously feel free to pop them in the Q&A box, guys, or raise your hand and we'll come back to you. But yes, I'll hand over to you, Sholo, one of our course advisors, Sholo Rebel. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie, and thank you very much, Dr. Paul, for that very insightful information on the People Practice course. And I think we've got a lot of information there. Most part of the first section is covered, so that was brilliant as well. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this evening. I'm Sholo Rebel. I'm one of the course advisors from Global Edulink. And I'm going to be quickly sharing with you information about how Global Edulink as a learning platform can help you get through your CIPD course, and how our qualification benefits are interactive, and how they are reputable as well in terms of enrolling people, giving them support from start to finish with assignment support, mentor support, and all your course information. So I'm just going to quickly run through that with you. Just to give you an understanding, as it is, the choice is yours, but we want to make sure that you're given with sufficient information so you can make an informed decision on the learning provider you would wish to select. So I'm going to quickly run through then about us. So that's first things first, and who are we? And Global Edulink, we are an authorized learning organization. We work with several accredited awarding bodies in the UK, and specifically for CIPD, it's the people management courses. We also work with BCS for business analysis, and then we have our business management courses accredited by PSM BTech, and of course AXFLOS and People Search for our project management courses. There's a whole lot, as 1,000 courses mentioned on this slide here, but could be more than that as well. So who's counting, really? But yeah, that's our passion, to make sure that all our courses are up to date, it's current, it's professionally available for anyone who's interested, and we have a whole wide variety that we cover in our course portfolio. And just as it says, we have over 500,000 students across the globe. This includes all categories of courses and people from all over the world, as it is. So that's one of the wonderful things, because we've been in the industry for over 10 years, and we've been able to serve people as much as we can. You can certainly go through our Trustpilot reviews, and you can read for yourself on the information that our learners have provided, and also several details on the YouTube channel where you can find out about more information about courses as well. So yes, of course, there's 150 specialized tutor panel that we have for several sectors, and as well as experienced people such as Dr. Paul, who's also in our tutor panel, which we're privileged to have. So that's us as a company. Let me then quickly run through the course and the benefits that we have for you. Now, just like Dr. Paul mentioned, we strive to provide you a very interactive learning experience. So the course that's provided to you for the CIPD Level 3 Foundation, it comes with 12 months access. So you get a host of video lessons, and there's lecture notes. There's also assessments and activities throughout the learning progress. So we provide you a calendar that you can work with on our course. So once you enroll, you exactly know when is what and what topics are covered in each of our live online sessions. So you're not limited to a self-study program. You're able to attend our live online sessions, interact with the tutor, get in touch with our mentor, get your questions clarified, and follow the timetable that we have for you. But given a situation where you're unable to attend in one of our sessions, you can certainly get the recordings for you, or schedule for another one. So that's absolutely available. You can speak to our customer support, program support team, who will be able to help you through that. So, and yes, of course, it's interactive. There's question and answer, there's webinars. But in addition to that, we'd also provide you support in terms of your assignments. So we have a mentor panel who will be able to guide you on the assignment count, the number of words that is required. If there's certain things that you want, to be changed, to make it, to fine tune the last bit of things. So there is a formative assessment and also a formative feedback and summative feedback provided to you. So that again is pulling everything together to make sure you get through your certifications properly. So that's the other support that we provide. And as all of you know, it is one of the routes for you to become a CIPD member is through the qualification route, and that's what this course is providing you. So once completing this program, you will be able to add associate CIPD member next to your name. So that's another post-nominal SO CIPD member will be one of your added advantages by completing the CIPD course. So that's also one of the benefits that we have available for you there. So it's all certified. It's through CIPD. So everything that you come across, the course curriculum, it's assessed, it's accredited by them. So rest assured, everything works well for you there. So yes, as I spoke about the live online session, we also give you a few additional things. So we have several topics on HR topics we provide you as free courses. So we have a section on interviews, on how to give feedback, termination process, and also the payroll process. There are additional free courses we've included just for an added advantage, the added knowledge. So that's all part of our course package for you. And then, of course, affordable pay monthly plan. We know the course prices can be a bit on the budget, so we also give you a 10-month plan. So you start off with a small amount, and then you just keep paying as you study. So you don't have to take a break or anything at all. You just continue working, pay for whatever that you can, as flexibility is also provided. So that's just about a quick information in a nutshell, really, about the course benefits that we provide you at Global Edulink for your CIPD Level 3 course. So I'm going to move there. And I think here's the details on the course price. So that's how it is. The cost is $1,199. But let me remind you that this cost also includes the CIPD student membership. So in order for you to start your CIPD course, the foundation level, you need to be a student member. So without any additional cost, we will enroll you for membership as well. And that's the price there, which is $1,199. This includes your course access, your mentor support, your live online sessions that will be available for you. That's for the whole 12 months, including assessments and all of that. So yes, we also can provide you a 10-month installment plan. So you break this cost, so you pay about £90 or what was affordable for you initially, and then we will break the remaining course fee over 10 months. So that's about an advantage, and that's a special offer that you can make use of. Yeah, so that's about it. And yeah, if anyone is interested to find out more details, please do let us know. And at the end of this event, obviously, I'm going to send you some information over about the courses, the links, and also further reading materials that can help you. And again, you can get in touch for more information. Right, and that's it from me. Well, perfect. So that's at the end.
Okay, thank you so much, Charlotte. Thanks for that information there. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to make use of that discount, then please do. And if you have any other questions, here's our contact details. If you suddenly think of a question afterwards, that's all good. You can email us or call us. And as I said in the beginning, we will be sending out this webinar recording. So I know some people had to leave early and things, and some people joined a little late. That's absolutely fine. You'll be able to catch up on everything tonight in your own time. But yeah, that's everything from me as well. Thank you for joining, and hopefully we see you soon, and good luck with everything.